Well, morning gamers. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. Today is December 30th, 2024. Tomorrow is the last day. So, tomorrow, expect that to be an interesting episode. I'm actually going to cover my game of the year tomorrow and my top five. We're going to go through, and it's going to be a pretty interesting discussion because part of it is personal. I'm going to explain the personal elements of why I like certain games, but also how it affects the industry, my thoughts on 2024 in general. And yeah, I think tomorrow will be a fun show. But today's going to be a fun show too. Interesting stuff to talk about today. Hope you're all doing well. Autonomous, good to see you there in the chat. And the sneeze is happening. Hold on. How crazy is that? As soon as I start talking, there's a sneeze that comes on. And I even already do my lemon water in the morning, honey, get the throat all prepared. It's one of those weird days that, hey, Fulcrum, good to see you. It's one of those days that, the kids still don't have school. And so really, I don't have to get up as early as I do, but sometimes I'm just awake anyway. And, and I still got to work. But it was funny. I was reading this study that was talking about how people later in life will randomly wake up at like 2 or 3 a.m. And I've been doing that lately, and I don't know why. And I guess the study around that was that for men, and I don't know if it's women too, later in life, historically, would be the ones to kind of get up at a certain time to check the perimeter, check that the fire is still going, things like that. And I guess that's just like this genetic DNA memory, I guess that's in us that, gets us to do that. Because I was funny, it was the neighbor, R.I.P., a neighbor that passed away recently. We were talking about that, and he was saying the same thing, how he just randomly wakes up at like 3 in the morning. He doesn't know why. And anyway, that's not really video games. That could be a video game, though. So let's talk about what I got into this week. And this week one was pretty interesting, I gotta say. So I played a lot of games I didn't expect to play. One, I jumped back into Gundam Breaker 4. I'm thinking it's because when I stopped playing Godzilla, I had that feeling of, okay, I need some sort of structure, some game where I can just, don't have to think too much, but there's still things to get done. And that's Gundam Breaker 4. For instance, I went in and cleared a bounty hunter mission with 50,000 bounty. Cleared a mission with a machine gun type weapon. Yeah, I think I did that. Let's see, what was the other one? Yeah, played survival for the first time. Cleared survival 10. So I got all these achievements last night. Just doing some basic stuff that I could do. And that's the thing. It's like, again, I always say, it's not the achievements that I need or I want. It's more of, let me adjust this. It's more of like it helps me give me a goal, a mission, something to work toward when I'm playing the game. That way, as I'm doing something, it's like, okay, what can I do to optimize or maximize the experience? So my plan is in, Autonomous, maybe you can help me with this. I might have to ask someone else. Is the Mighty Strike Freedom easy to get? Because I went into the store and it wasn't there. I don't know if that is like the DLC or I have to complete a certain mission. I noticed I hadn't played Gundam Breaker 4 since like September or something, so I have totally wiped it from my memory and need to get back into figuring that out, because I think I can get the rest of the achievements pretty easy, and it's a fun game to just smack around some robots. I got back into, not back into, but I've been playing Backer. I do about a level a day or so, so I've been playing 2 hours, 25 minutes, there's more to it. This game turned out just as good as I thought it would. It's really fun. When I say that, but between that and Astrobot, I feel like there's a little bit of, oh, wait, Mighty Strike Freedom is a free update, so it should just be in the store. Did you already beat the game? Yeah, I did. I didn't see it in the store. Maybe I'll check again later, and I'll look that up. But thank you. But with Bakuru, it's the same thing with Astrobot. These are both like platformers where you collect things and jump around, and it's like I feel like there is a part of me that has grown out of that, and not at a maturity level, just more of I've played games like that so much that it's really hard for me because I would play this Super Lucky's Tales that's like the same thing and it's pretty fun. But I always thought, it's not like this is what I like, right? But it's okay. And I almost kind of get that from Astrobot and Bakaru. And maybe it's again like with Gundam Breaker 4, it's like at the right time, okay, now I'm all in, and yeah, when it comes to gaming, it's interesting how my mind needs to be in a certain place. Not needs to be, it will be in a certain place where then certain games are then fun to play. And then, yeah, Godzilla Voxel Wars, played a little bit more of this. This is a fun game. Yeah, it's just a strategy. You kind of just, it's a chill game, and it has good music. So you just chill and play. So 9-Bit Armies, the reason I jumped back into that, and I didn't even play it, it was because I hadn't played it since March. I was cleaning up games that I had installed on my computer. I like this game a lot. This game really is a spiritual successor to what the Command & Conquer Legacy is. This is that modern version of that. It's the original devs. I mean, they've been making a bunch of Command & Conquer like since then. That 8-Bit Armies was the previous one. And this is really good. It's just, again, like I was talking about before, I'm just not feeling that type of game, so I uninstalled it. It's interesting because I know I'll get back to it. It reminds me of last year, over the summer of last year. I was so into Company of Heroes 2. When I first played Company of Heroes 2 when it first came out, I was like, I don't care. Actually, let me look. Oh man, I wish it had my old Company of Heroes 2. So 17 hours to go through the campaign. That seems about right. You know what? But I don't think, Company of Heroes, I played back when it first came out. And you could log the time. It was over 200 hours. It had to have been. I played that so much, especially in my first house when it was just me and roommates. We would just play Company of Heroes all the time. Anyway, and what I'm saying, August 24, 2023. So summer of last year. So what happened was when Company of Heroes came out, or the second one, I just didn't care. I wasn't feeling it. And then last summer, it just came to me. So I'm hoping that will happen with 9-Bit Armies. Another one, Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. This came out this year, and I've been meaning to check it out. And it was on sale. Really good game. It is hard, but a good difficult. Like, it feels good to play. It is that sort of game you have to be in the mindset, where you're willing to, try and die and repeat. Like that Tom Cruise movie. You have to go through the level to see what everything is, and you're going to die by the end of it so that you repeat it and optimize that experience. But just the gameplay and the graphics for the pixel art, amazing. Not that it's going to go into my top 5, but it's a highlight of the year. Rogue Flight. This is one that I meant to buy. I played the demo on stream, loved it, and didn't get it. But it was on sale, so I grabbed it. Interesting enough that, from what I understand, is it's not an expensive game. So I just want to throw that out there because it's kind of short. Where I've only paid 58 minutes, but I've heard people have completed it in 2 hours. We'll see if that's the case. It is fun. It has great music. It's difficult though, but it's fun. Okay, here's the big one. So I streamed Saturday night. I was like, man, I need to grind some more Godzilla. Let me just stream it while I'm doing it. And I kind of know what I have to do. Let's hope it works. And it happened to work. That during the stream, I was able to get the rest of the trophies, and I platinumed Godzilla on PS3. So excited. The only reason I'm playing the PS3 version is because that's all I have access to. The PS4 version's like over $200. We're going to get to that. We got a good story coming up with that. And again, I've talked about it on here before. I used to own Godzilla on PS4. I played a little over 5 hours, I think, from what we looked at here. Too bad that I, sold it, or I might have rented it from GameFly or something. But anyway, interestingly enough, the day after, this is yesterday, right? The day after I platinum Godzilla on PS3, I do some research on the, which I have right here, the Shad PS4 emulator. And someone had just posted 2 days prior that they got the Godzilla game working with a caveat, and I'll get to that. And that just blew my mind because I also bought the PS4 version, and I think I'm getting scammed. It was $80, but everything was legit. Bought it. The package says it's on its way, and it arrived in my location, but not on my. It says that in Mercari, but not in my USPS dashboard or UPS or whatever. Whereas it could be that thing. What I think the scams do is sometimes they don't have it where it goes to you directly. So then Mercari says it's been received, and you have 3 days to then dispute that. The other thing too, excuse me, is sometimes they just send a coin. Yes, a coin. I've seen this, and people have posted pictures where it's just like a dollar coin, and you have 3 days to dispute. And they try to make it where if you don't do it in 3 days, the seller keeps the money. I really do think I'm getting scammed, but I wanted to try it. Luckily, I will get my money back. And so it's like, okay, I could buy the PS4 version for $200 on eBay, but that's a lot of money. And it's really cool, though, that they got this working. We'll talk about this here in a second, but I'm going to move on. I just think it's a crazy, one of those synchronicities in life that is so crazy that I beat it on PS3, I get the Platinum, and then the PS4 version's nearly working on the emulator. A PS4 emulator. Isn't that crazy? Okay. Moving on. Gal Guardians Demon Purge, where this is called Grim Guardians. They had to change the name, I think, for the US release. This is cool. It's not exactly what I thought, but it's still really good. It's like that Portrait of Ruin Castlevania I was talking about, where you have the two characters, and it works that way. You can't use them at the same time, but you switch between them, and then when one dies, it does it where when you die, you restart at the checkpoint so you can go and revive. And it's weird because other than that, it's very Castlevania. But I think what they did was they made it different enough where it's almost like it's stage-based, yet you can fast travel between different points of different stages. And you can go back and do things with the abilities that you get. Anyway, they announced that the sequel's coming in March. That's why I was like, well, I should go ahead and play through this because it is good. It is good. Okay. Midnight Hatter, good to see you. I think there are two types of game design. Rote memorization gameplay and pattern recognition gameplay. Sounds like a lot of games opt for memorization style where you play levels over and over. Yeah, it's that is a good point because there is the type where you're playing the levels over and over to figure them out, to maximize it. And then there's some games where you're just kind of playing to grind a mission. It's like, oh, I need to get this, so I'm going to play this over and over so I can get this thing. Whereas someone's like, I need to play this over and over so I can figure out how to pass it. Yeah, it's interesting how that works. And I think that's kind of the essence sometimes of a game. And I recognize when I'm playing, like, okay, is there a thing here? Or is this just whatever? And if it's too whatever, sandboxy, like the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom we've talked about, where that's more of like, you just do whatever and you can, and that's fun. But sometimes I need that, that sort of like focused, like here's the plan and try to get it done. Although Tears of the Kingdom is kind of like that because it is kind of like, how can you figure out what to do, But I guess I kind of like the kind of persistence in terms of whether that's clearing a level or getting the next item or something. Hey, Talos, good to see you. Good day and happy holidays. How are you fine people? Yeah, doing good. Doing good. Good to see you in here. Shadow Generations had to be the memorization from multiple playthroughs of the stage. Yes, that's a good example. With the Shadow game, there's no way you could play the stage the first time and get everything. You have to play it multiple times. And even when you do, you're going to be like, oh, I didn't make the jump on time. Guess I got to finish the rest of the level or exit and then start over again. That's very interesting. Okay. So that's it for what I've been playing. It was really fun, jumping into a lot of different things. I think after doing my Godzilla PS3 Platinum, I was more like, yeah, it was very funny how I transitioned to Gundam Breaker 4 all of a sudden. Interesting. Yeah, I want to finish up getting like some mobile suits built that I like and try to get the rest of the achievements. All right, so there's some things I wanted to jump into. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll show this off real quick. This the PS4 emulator and playing Godzilla, because here's the thing. You know, it is so crazy how much misinformation about video gaming is out there. For one, there's this meme. You know how like people like to just do memes because people do them, and it's like, oh, you did the meme. There's this meme about Godzilla that is not even real, about the Godzilla game, and I posted somewhere about something, and then someone does the meme, and I'm like, that's a weird. Why would people say this? And I've seen it like in YouTube videos and all that, and it's basically repeating a character saying something over and over and over again, which that doesn't happen in this game. I don't know. That's kind of hard to explain. But that just tells me a lot of people don't play it. Likewise, anytime people ask what's the difference between the PS3 and PS4 version, most likely people have not played both. Because people will say, oh, they're practically the same. PS3 version just doesn't have online play. It's like, no. These games are completely different. In fact, and it might not actually show up. Yeah, this is, oh, I got a trophy, but it's not going to count. This is one of the issues, like you could see that things are missing. This is supposed to show all the different kaiju. That's not in the PS3 version. Also, when you go to play any mode, actually, you can actually, and you can't see it here, you can select from all the different kaiju. In the PS3, you can't do that. The PS3 version is just Godzilla, and then once you beat the game, it's Burning Godzilla and Godzilla 2014. This has all the different, not all, but it has a lot of different kaiju. Also, yeah, when you play God of Destruction mode, I think it's the same. Let's see. It says the text over there. There's different types. So, in God of Destruction mode, there's just go ashore and you play. This, it has where, yeah, you go ashore here. There's invade, so that's where you're another kaiju and you invade. Defend, and other stuff. So, and not only that, when you do this, you could choose, let's see. Okay, so the breath here's the same. Okay, we'll have this go real quick. So one of the main things, I don't know if it's hard to to tell on here versus the PS3 version, which I could tell even on the stream, is that this game is 60 FPS. The PS3 version, not at all. Like, in fact, you guys would watch me play and you would see all of the stuttering. Oh yeah, I don't think I can play this first level, I forgot. Yeah, so I would have to play the third level and on, so I just kind of messed up. But anyway, that's what I'm saying, like, they've got this working where you can mostly play the whole game. Like, if I started on the third level, or is that how it works? And played it, or the King of Kaiju mode, all that. And then I hope I don't crash the stream here, because crash the stream? Crash the stream, because I have to close this, and sometimes the it freaks out when I'm closing it. But anyway, it is interesting to see how far they've gotten with the PS4 emulation, but it's also interesting to kind of come to this realization that when you go online to search about the Godzilla game on PS3 and PS4, most of the time it is incorrect information, and I have learned it just from trying to experience these games myself. You know, some of the other things I see that I don't know if it's necessarily misinformation, but it's just people saying that the Godzilla game's a bad game. It's not that great. And I'm like, I mean, I guess that is personal opinion, but in my opinion, if you're going to make a game about Godzilla, this is the way to do it. And like I explained, I was playing the Super Godzilla on Super Nintendo the other day. Actually, that didn't pop up on, yeah, that's right. It didn't pop up on the emulator. I didn't have on the Exophase, I didn't have the right ROM, but it's the same exact structure. It's interesting how it's like the same game, just one is 2D and one is 3D with, you know, modern quality of life improvements. So yeah, still hasn't closed. RIP. And that's the other thing with this emulator is you can't ever properly close a game. At least as far as I know, at least that game. So anyway, yeah, that's Otalos. I'm looking forward to the new year for a variety of reasons, including the new GBO2 stuff. But other than that, probably yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw that they are raising the. Are they raising the cost? Like because they're introducing. I know the Awakened Gundam. I wonder if there'd be more. Okay, is it really just gonna play? And it's there we go. Close program. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's that for what I've been playing, showing the PS4 emulator, playing Godzilla. That's how far we've gone with emulation. PS4. I don't think it's right. I'm down with emulation. I don't think it's right to be trying to emulate games that you can already get right now. Like there's people that are working to emulate Bloodborne, and I think that's okay because what people are trying to do is get 60 FPS. But then I see people like trying to get Sonic Mania to emulate, and it's like there's so many ways you could play Sonic Mania. Why do something like that? I think Godzilla is a good example because there's no way you can get that game right now. So, correct, 750. The first 750 that we'll be getting for free is the Zeta Gundam level 4. Whoa, making that a level 4? At the end of January, it will be given out to everyone simply for logging in. Well, I'm going to be checking that out. That's cool. A Zeta Gundam, though, at 750. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, what is some interesting news that I came across? Okay. So, do you remember this game Wild Hearts that EA released last year? That was supposed to be a Monster Hunter game. This was made by Koei Tecmo Games. I had no idea. I had no idea that EA got with them and said, hey, we want you to make a Western game. And it has mostly negative reviews. It's mixed. It makes me want to try it even more. Where I feel like this is going to be a good game. And so this is my plan. I might pay $5.99 for a month to play it. Just to try it out. It's like a demo. It's like renting. But then the game is cheap. So I'm going to play it probably in the next couple days. I'm not into Monster Hunter necessarily. I mean, I guess I could be, but I'm always interested in games made by Japanese developers that historically I've enjoyed. And then especially when I see mixed reviews or negative reviews, and it's based on a developer that I'm into, that makes me think, oh, then this might be my thing, and that's why it has negative reviews. Dang, I'm getting a lot of spam calls right now. Anyway, I thought that was interesting because I found this article. I'm going to post this in the chat. It's kind of a long read, but it's just very interesting because it's a bunch of Japanese developers and their ambitions for 2025. I think the big ones for me... Oh, I typed in the wrong thing. Hold on. The big ones for me are... So both at ArtPlay, Shutaro Ida, known for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I hope to unveil the sequel to Bloodstain as soon as possible. And then Koji Igarashi, the main guy, of Metroidvania fame, the Metroidvania Castlevanias, he made, Symphony of the Night. He goes, I hope to release a new title this year. So, I am assuming that's what they're talking about, and I am excited. I just hope somehow they can make it more visually appealing. It's interesting that it's like with the Castlevania games, pixel art got to the point where people know pixel art so well that then here's a creative artistic way to do it and really flourish what pixels can do. Whereas when you get to 3D look of stuff, it's sometimes just okay. But anyway, the reason I want to share that is there's just so many Japanese developers here that said some crazy stuff. Not crazy stuff, but exciting ideas. So yeah, Koei Tecmo, who we were just talking about, this is where I learned that they did Wild Hearts. But see, Rise of Ronin, I haven't played that yet, but I know I'd like it. The Neo series, love. Ninja Gaiden series, love. Dead or Alive series, love. Hyrule Warriors, love. Fire Emblem, to a degree. They also did, if I'm not mistaken, is it Wulong? Wulong, am I making that up? Fallen Dynasty? Yeah, Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo Games. So, and that was a fun one. Because I played that on Game Pass. And it's not expensive. This is a good, it's just an action game. It's like Neo, but easier. Oh my God. How many spam calls am I getting right now? That's crazy. What else? So anyway, yeah, they're in 2025 we'll be able to deliver the first title from Koei Tecmo Games' newly established development studio, AAA studio. So it's like, what? You know, and they do have a new Dead or Alive girl dating game. It's like they took, Dead or Alive volleyball, and they've stripped it down, no pun intended, into just a interaction dating sim or whatever. That comes out in March, April. But I don't think that's what they're referring to. So I'm wondering what this game would be. It's a new AAA studio. That's interesting. Okay. So that makes me think, is it an IP? That they currently, is it one of their own IP, a new IP, or like Zelda, because they will use other franchises. Gundam, Dynasty Warriors Gundam, but would that be AAA? I don't think so. And I would say just check this out on your own. There's a lot of stuff here that looks cool. Even, showing this Aleste Branch, which I didn't even know was in development. It's a new shmup. It's a sequel of that series. It looks good. Suda 51, I'll announce a new title, or maybe for sure. Okay. Oh, and here is the other part of Koei Tecmo Games, the Omega Force specifically. I guess we were looking more at Team Ninja. But they did Hyrule Warriors. That's interesting. So they have like cross-development of the Warriors franchise within studios of Koei Tecmo Games. In 2025, they have the new Dynasty Warriors Origins. Excited about that. They're working hard on various titles and hope to make an interesting announcement before spring arrives. Okay. So that would be cool. Oh, yeah, I see. So if I scroll down a little, and then the Team Ninja specifically, they're saying Team Ninja will celebrate 30th anniversary. We hope to announce and release titles fitting for the occasion. So a lot from Koei Tecmo in 2025. That is the biggest takeaway for me here, which is really cool. Konami, well, I know they have some stuff about, Metal Gear Solid. Good on them that for Snake Eater. But where's the Castlevania? I mean, we did get. They are good about those surprise launches, so maybe that's what it's about. Let's see. Imagine Dynasty Warriors Gundam in 2025. With those new graphics from Origin or whatever, that'd be great. In terms of new games, though, apparently Blood of the Dawnwalker was announced recently, but they will make a full announcement on January 13th. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That looked interesting. All right. We're getting near the end here. Let's jump into some other news real quick. Yeah, the new Xbox controllers. I guess the idea really is the plan is to release this alongside new hardware. So it is cool that they're going to announce a new Xbox, if that's how it's going to be, unless it's just some hardware where it's something you plug in for streaming. I don't know. But the idea is to have like HD haptic rumble, kind of like the Switch in DualSense 5, but it looks like they're trying to go even further with it, where it works independently of the controller. The idea is some of the rumble, the feeling, it uses sound, but not like sound like you hear, but more of like sound waves for vibrations, will affect different parts of the controller. So I don't know how much that is needed, but it is cool if it is something new that enhances our experiences with gaming. Real quick, it sounds like it's 20 years too late, but SNK Corporation establishes a King of Fighters studio. So I think that's pretty cool because it sounds like they are taking the fighting games more seriously, even though they have been taking them seriously for a long time. Interesting that they're just, maybe this does better for the brand than just SNK. I don't know. And maybe that's what it is. It's the newer, people that didn't grow up on SNK, but they're into fighting games. They might be into Street Fighter and King of Fighters. So when they see that, maybe that's a branding thing. I don't know. Okay, PlayStation's boss says it's open to reviving classic franchises. Well, duh. I mean, you should always, no one, that should never be a statement. If you're stating that, it has multiple levels to it. That means you're messing up and trying to figure out what to do. You want to get fans back. But if you're not mentioning that and you're doing well, it means you're always utilizing your franchise as well. Because I thought it was surprising that Capcom said that, almost like they were, because Capcom said that recently, but it's like they didn't need to, because Capcom is really good with their older franchises. I almost feel like it was more of them boasting, and I think that's fine. Bragging, Capcom, they can brag because they do like some of the best AAA development, especially with their older IPs. And then, they make that statement and that becomes news. And then these other companies are like, shouldn't we be reviving our older franchises? Which, speaking of that, EA, so it's a very interesting thing about Dead Space. We heard that the Dead Space 4 was recently pitched to EA. EA shut it down. But then they talked about back when Dead Space and Mirror's Edge first came out. They put all the marketing into Mirror's Edge because internal mock reviews indicated Dead Space wouldn't do as good. It would do the 70s, Mirror's Edge would do the 90s. When the games came out, it was flipped completely. I mean, that's so funny. It's almost like you're trying to make something viral when you're doing a mock review. It's like you don't really know until it gets out there, until it's part of the zeitgeist. It's like, this is the game that's out. People are wondering what game to play. Oh, they hear people talking good about a game. When you're doing mock reviews, that's a very isolated, specific instance of, is this game good? Well, maybe critically. Someone's like, critically, oh, okay, yeah, I'd give Mirror's Edge a higher score because really Dead Space is more of the same. But it could be someone that's looking at Dead Space critically is not a horror fan. Because I think what helps with Dead Space is if you're into horror, which a lot of people are, but then there are people that are not. In terms of, not that they don't like it, but it doesn't impact them as much. I think that's a not a fake, but almost like a quick way to get someone into a certain mood or atmosphere or emotion, is to like scare them with a jump scare, because that's not real. But Dead Space does a really good job of building that tension. Oh yeah, we talked about the new controller, and then I was looking. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for today. So stay tuned for tomorrow's show, because that will be the Game of the Year awards. My personal, Adam Blue, the Blue Gamer, what I think was the best games of last year. I have a spreadsheet that I've been using all year to document my thoughts. Well, not my thoughts, but document games, and then I will think about them out loud tomorrow. Let's see. Capcom was open to admitting they made mistakes and even did polls to see what fans wanted to see. Yeah, since they knew they neglected some fans. Yeah, they're really good at figuring that stuff out. I think so. Capcom's one of the good ones. Anyways, I'm going to head out. I'm going to head to work. Hopefully you all have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.